Okay, so yep, we are live. We are live here with our In the Salon with podcast. And today I'm delighted to have one of our very own Salon Jedis in the house, Lisa Phillips. Before I introduce Lisa, let me tell you a little bit about Lisa. And then, of course, we'll find out more as we're going along. But Lisa is the owner of Aura Hair in Banstead, which is a award-winning salon business. It's also vegan, a very, very sustainable salon, and a very, very successful salon. And the reason that I've asked Lisa here today is because I want to talk to Lisa about her journey and her story, because Lisa is really the epitome of what can be achieved through Salon Jedi Academy. This is what I believe. And she's very much modeled exactly as I've done to get off the salon floor, etc. So having a really strong team culture, getting off the salon floor, having a #1 website. We'll chat about all these things. Having a strong core values and a strong purpose. You know, they're very strong, sustainable salon at their core. She leads a high-performing team, and like I say, the cream on the top, or the cherry on the top, should I say, is that you no longer work on the floor, on the tools, Lisa. So welcome, Lisa. Thank you for coming and joining us today.
Hi, Caroline. Made me sound amazing there. That's great.
That's a great start.
Yeah, well, good start.
This is the thing. This is what, our Salon Jedi students, a lot of salon owners, this is what they want. This is the dream, to have a salon business that is profitable, that makes profits, that they don't have to be working behind the tools anymore. And they've got a happy, high-performing team, and, they're achieving great success within the industry and winning awards and all that kind of stuff as well. And it is possible. But before we chat about how we got to that stage, let me take you back, because I know that you have, before you joined us, how long ago was it you joined us now?
It was the end of 2019, I think, very end, literally just before January 20.
That's right, because you came to the Super Salon Summit, wasn't it? The event in London, that's right. So that was, the September of 2019 when we first met. But you were no stranger to education before you joined us. So I know that you'd already started implementing some systems into the salon, and you had already done training courses, right?
Yeah. So I'd done training courses literally, from about a year after starting my business. So from 2011, always been part of a mentorship group and attended training courses. My team attended training courses, but quite different to what the Salon Jedi is. So we'd implemented a lot of the financials. We'd implemented them, but I didn't then know what to do with them. So I had them, but didn't know what to do with them. And I had the systems for my team, but probably didn't have the time or the confidence or kind of just the mindset to get out there and implement that with my team as well. So I had it all there, but I don't think I was knowing how to really use it to its full capacity.
Okay. And then when you came along to Salon Jedi, because you hear this saying of, you keep doing what you've always done, you keep getting the same results. So even though you'd been growing and you got to a certain point, there must have been at some point feeling that bit of stagnation of thinking, right, I need to do something else, or I need something different to be able to get to the next level of where I want to go. Would that be fair to say? Was there a sort of feeling, did you know that there was something missing, or?
Yeah, definitely, because I was still searching other courses. So I had actually then joined, I did the Brainathon and I did the Winning the Game of Money. And John Asraf, So I started that. That must have been probably about 2017 or 18, something like that. Started implementing that and saw changes. But obviously you, Caroline, came up in the Brainathon and came up in some of the training we were doing with Winning the Game of Money. And so obviously I wasn't, although we were breaking even, and we were doing okay, and we were growing, not to the capacity and not to the speed that I wanted it to be. And I was still working on the shop floor 5 days a week. And so again, then having the time to implement what I was learning was just crazy. And your name kept popping up and popping up, which is then why then you came into my feed. And I'd also been on an Andy Harrington course as well. Actually, I'd done the Power to Achieve with Andy Harrington. And obviously I was in that kind of thing on my Facebook media, and then you popped up, and that's how I came to the Summit School. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
and I think I just resonated with you being very similar to what I was, that I'd started my business with really young kids thinking, that's great, it's going to give me the lifestyle that I want to achieve to be able to spend time with my children. And it wasn't happening. I was actually working more hours and not spending time with them. And I think seeing what you'd done kind of then just made me think, that's what I want. I want to be off the shop tools, I want to be off the floor. And it can be done because you've seen somebody else that's done it. So yeah, that's what kind of drew me to it.
Yeah, and I'm just, while I'm here, I'm just saying hello to Tarnia, hello, and hello to Caroline that's here as well watching. How are you doing? Yeah, for those of you that are listening that maybe don't know what we were talking about when we talked about John Assaraf and Andy Harrington, just very briefly. So John Assaraf, you may have heard of John Assaraf in the film and book The Secret. He's very much on mindset, and I've been working with him for many years. I'm actually one of his private consulting clients now, and I featured in his Brainathon that Lisa is talking about, which is something that he does once a year that I've featured in as a success story of his, and I feature in his book, etc. And Andy Harrington also, I often feature on his stage, up on his screen. He uses me as a testimonial. Is that where you'd probably seen pop up there? So it felt like I was following you around virtually. It was like, there's something here. This is the universe telling me I need to know more about what's going on here and how she's achieved that. And here's the thing, it's achievable for anyone. It's just knowing how to do the right things in the right way. Like you said, you had all the jigsaw pieces, but didn't quite know how to piece it all together. So tell me, so when you did join, what's the difference for you? Because what I mean by that is, when I say the difference that makes the difference, what's the thing that moved the needle? What was the thing that really made the big difference, that you've completely changed? You're off the floor now. I mean, in such a short space of time, and considering that there's been, 9-10 months or more of lockdowns, but even during this time, you've just gone, what was the difference that made the difference? Is it the mindset, the training, a mix of everything? What actually was it?
Okay, so I think the biggest thing was the marketing. I think that was definitely it. I was doing a bit of Facebook marketing, but I was getting scared. I'd see an advert run and I'd see the cost of the advert going up, but I wasn't analysing what it was actually doing. So although I was dabbling at it, I wasn't really going in both feet. So I think the marketing was definitely a big thing, learning all of that on the course, with how to actually do the adverts, not to be scared, to just know what to look for. The mindset, definitely. I think my whole reason for starting my business started with my yoga background. So I've been a busy stylist all my life, working for big salons up in London, and then got into yoga, became a yoga teacher, and then thought, hey, I'm going to start a salon that's going to be a holistic, very caring sort of mindset salon. But of course, that goes out the window when you have bills to pay and you've got staff that come and go and leave, and the money's not coming in and you're not advertising. So I think meeting you kind of made me get my passion back for my mindset, that we were doing it, we were implementing it, but I think I had some of my team that weren't really on board with it. Some were, and they're still with me today, the ones that were, but some of them weren't. And I think I realized meeting you that actually this can work. You can implement this into the business and stick to your values and work with your values. but actually I needed the time to be able to do that. So by implementing the marketing, getting the rest of my team busier, then allowed me to come off the shop floor a little bit more. And by being off the shop floor a little bit more, I could get back into my own mindset, and I think build my strength, my confidence, and support the team a lot more, do a lot more mindset with them, you know, get them goal setting. You know, we always did vision boards, but we'd do them every year, we'd get excited, but we wouldn't work with them. Whereas now I've got the time to say, okay, let's have a look what's on your vision board and how we're going to get to this. And so I think the marketing was the number one, because that's what got the rest of my team busy, that allowed me to step off the shop floor. Yes, lockdown happened, but I had reduced my days to 1 day a week before lockdown. So it kind of was happening before, yeah. So mindset and marketing.
Okay, so let's just talk about the marketing for a second there, because I was just having a little look before I came on the podcast, and I was having a look at your website. I know that we did the website for you as well. You had your website through Salon Jedi. And I thought, I'm just going to have a little look. And I know that we look at this stuff anyway when we do it, but it's been a while on. I thought, I'm going to have a look and see what your salon comes up number one for. Like, imagine that I am just somebody that's moving to the area and I'm putting in hairdressers Banstead, curly hair Banstead, balayage Banstead, color, hair color Banstead, organic salon, but like anything that I was putting in, you were just number one, number one, number one. Now it's that complete domination of that online space. You know, this is what we aim to do with our websites. This was something, you know, with my website that I did that completely transformed my salon business, because people are finding you. If you've got a website, like a money-making website, people are finding you. I mean, you must get, knowing that you're coming up for all those things, you must get lots of new clients and lots of phone calls and lots of inquiries. Would tell us about that. What impact has a website had in the salon?
Oh, massive. So we had a pretty good website before. It was okay. It kind of gave our ethos out there. We came up probably about number 3 or 4, sometimes 1, not much, but for probably 2 searches, that's it. And my website didn't generate any money, so I wasn't getting any money at all from it or anything like that. It just showed what we did. Then obviously we created the website, and at the moment we're running at 30% new clients. And that's without doing, well, I've got 1 advert running at the moment, but that's been going, but that's not where the new clients are coming from. So we're running at 30%, which is great. We were like 10% before. So that's another 20% of new clients. Constantly getting messages on Google from our website, filling in the forms, all of those things. We had the subscribers, £10 subscribers voucher on there. I think we're heading up to about 400 subscribers on MailChimp, so that's doing well. Never really advertised it. People just go in and do it, which is brilliant. So yeah, the website's great. And then the other thing is, in fact, I just thought about it last night. I woke up this morning to 2 payments that had gone through in the middle of the night, where somebody had purchased something online. So there was me always wanting, I know, for me, and we have had that, but it sort of went a bit quieter coming out. Well, we kind of turned a lot of it off after lockdown, turned it back on, and straight away 2 sales. And, you know, that was my dream, to be able to earn some money while I'm sleeping, and it kind of happens. So that's good.
So that's another thing to add to the tick list. That's one of the things that I could have said, and makes money while she sleeps.
Yes.
It's interesting. Even yesterday, I had 3 sales from the website that came through. You know, they're just coming through, boom, 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 and it's like, oh, 3. You get a little floody, and it was like 3 just yesterday. It's a money-making website. It's just coming in because people are finding you. It's not on the back of. I'm not running any ads to the website at the moment. Are you running any ads to your website at the moment?
No, none. No.
It's all organic. By the way, if anyone wants to check out Lisa's site, what's the website? It's orahair.co.uk, is that right?
Yeah.
Orahair.co.uk.
Yeah.
If you want to check out more about Lisa's salon, you can go and check it out. These are the Salon Jedi websites that we do. And that's the purpose of them. That's what I want, to make money while you're sleeping, to get customers that come to you. It's less effort. It's all automated. You're building up your subscribers, and you've not even run a campaign around building them up, but you've already got 400. We've got over 4,000 now, just because we've had it for longer. It will build up, it'll keep building and keep building. So, and the great thing about that is, white space is easier to fill because you just turn to your list, as it grows bigger. As soon as you've got a cancellation or white space, you just email out to your list, boom, you get it filled most of the time, not always. I would never pretend to say that we never ever have any white space in our salon. We all have it now and again. These things happen, but to being able to fill it easier, taking a few actions and get it filled, I think is key, and it gives you more confidence as a salon owner as well, that you're able to do that. Now, let's talk about the transition into coming off the floor. So because anyone that's listening at the moment, we've got a few here, and obviously there's more when this goes out on the podcast and on record. There's going to be a lot more people listening to that. And one of the things that people do want to do is get off the floor, but there are common fears. What will clients say? How will my team react? Well, if I leave, is my manager capable? Will she be okay if I leave? Or if you don't have a manager, how do I find a manager that can, run the place? But I mean, some key things would be, well, there has to be systems in place. Obviously, you put systems in place before you're able to do that, or while you're doing it anyway, you're getting off the floor and you're doing your systems as well at the same time, kind of thing. What were the fears that you had? Because they're very, very common, but the difference is that you felt the fear and did it anyway.
I did, yeah. So I think I probably had 2 fears all around the same thing of judgment. That I had the fear of my clients, what were they going to say? And kind of that thing, I think, as a boss, where they think, oh, you're obviously earning lots of money, so therefore you don't have to work anymore, all of those sort of things. And clients putting pressure on you of, oh, well, could you do 1 day a week? Could you do this? So I had that fear of letting go of them, and maybe that they would leave the salon as well. Although some had gone to other stylists, I kept thinking, oh, they might go completely. And then I had the fear of my team judging me. So my team thinking, although my team were constantly saying to me, you just work too much, you need to be off the shop floor, we don't get time to chat to you, to talk to you, to do things. So I then sort of flipped it around. I thought, actually, I'm letting them down. I'm not doing them any justice at all. I'm really letting them down by continuing to work. So once I started reducing it, I saw how much happier they were. And yes, I did get quite a bit of jip from my clients, and they were moaning. However, we've hardly lost anyone. They've all gone to all the other team members. I still get them now when I'm in the salon. They often say, oh, are you coming back? Are you coming back? And you're just like, maybe one day, but there's no way I want to at all, unless I really had to. But so I think judgment, my team and my clients were the 3 things. But it's like one of those things, they say, feel the fear and do it anyway. I just did it, and then kind of gone down to 1 day, and then the lockdown happened, went down into 0 days. And then when I came back, I was in the shop because I needed to support the team, and I just had to keep staying with I just kept thinking of my goal and my end vision, which is for me to be off the shop floor. And if I give in, I'll slide back into doing clients. So I just said no all the time, just stuck to it. And I think it was having a bit more of a clearer vision and goal, that you just then stick to your values that are in line with that goal. And it was just, no, it's not the right thing to do. But I did have fears, and even now sometimes when people ask me, oh, are you coming back? Yeah, I don't kind of say no. I do say maybe one day, because I'm too scared to say no completely. So they're there. The fears are there, definitely. But only when I'm in my salon, not when I'm out my salon. I'm just, thank God, I'm not working on the shop floor, definitely.
Okay. So Taryn is asking, how big is your team, Lisa?
So I've got 5 stylists, 2 apprentices, and now 2 front of house managers, because they're sharing a job role. So, but 5 income producing stylists. And I did have, when I came off of the shop floor, I had 3. I didn't have 5, I had 3. I had 3 and 2 NVQ level 2s who are now so busy. They're doing NVQ level 3, but they're fully booked every day.
And the thing is, of course, because you have, this is what, try and get through to people is when you know how to do the marketing and you know how to fill the team but having the time to do it and the focus to do it, because now you're off the shop floor, you end up growing, you end up being more profitable, you end up being more busy, you do grow your business, yet that fear of, if I do it, I'll lose money. That's one of the biggest fears. If I come off the floor, I'm the one that's taking in all the money. I'm the one that's the busiest. I'm the one that's the most in demand. If I come off the floor, we'll lose all the client. What if we lose all the clients and we lose money? Where actually the opposite happens. And I just want to go back to something you said, because I think this is really important. Whereas you talked about, and this is what I do as well, and what you talked about was reframing. So you completely reframed the belief. So this feeling that you had to be on the floor working all the time, and completely reframed it to, well, hold on a second. If I go back on the floor, I'm not helping my team. I'm not able to support my team. And that's exactly what I did as well. When I was, when I said that, a lot of people that know my story, when I almost lost my business and my manager walked out when I was 8 months pregnant. And when I came back after, because I had 2 young graduates, and when I came back after my maternity leave, I mean, they were chock-a-block. They were bombed out. I'd done everything that I possibly could to help them before I left on maternity. I'd already trained them well, so they had that, under their belt, but they'd never run a busy column before. And we were dealing with, my clients, the manager's clients. We were seniors, so clients that were used to being with seniors, that's what they were, and they were now with our just recently qualified stylists, but they were chock-a-block. And when I came back, I realized if I open up a column, it's just going to be like a magnet. All the clients are going to come back in, and they're going to be really quiet. And I completely reframed it like, no, I need to, I've had my time, my years on the floor. I don't mind coming in, now and again, but like, to come back full time was just a no option. It was no. And I only came back 1 day a week on the salon floor at that time after that. And this was during one of the toughest times that I had, but I made that mental decision of, no, this is my time to grow these guys. And I reframed it into, I'm going to support my team and I'm going to build my team. And that's what you did as well. And it really helps to reframe that focus, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. So one of my girls completed her level 2, I think it was in January before we went into the lockdown. So she was just beginning to build up her column and started her level 3. The second one hadn't actually finished it. She completed it in the first lockdown, and we had discussions virtually about how ready she was. I knew she was capable. She's amazing. And she was like, yeah, let's go for it. Came back, and we kind of didn't pack her completely, but packed her as much as we could. And she's never looked back. And she's just, amazing now, just full most of the time. And yet she wasn't even qualified when we went into the lockdown. And I was a bit like, okay, but it was the right thing. Yeah, definitely. Brilliant. And they need me here to support them for things like, in fact, I'm saying that they don't, because I come in and often they say, what are you doing here? Or why don't you go back to your office at home? Which is great, because they know that then I'm working on the marketing or working on a coaching plan for them or something, so they love that.
Okay, excellent. Something else to touch on as well is when you do make that move on the salon floor, and once coming off the salon floor, and once you've made that move, tell me about how the team reacted to that. Was it everybody that was on board? Anybody not on board? There's a lot of fear around that as well. How did the team adapt? And there is, as you said, you've got that fear of being judged by the team, or if you lose any team members, etc. How was that experience?
So for my stylists, they were fine. They just wanted a little bit of confirmation with some of my clients. So they would kind of say, and in fact, I did spend time with them those first few haircuts of explaining what we did and everything else, and then let them go. And then after that, they've been amazing. They don't ever want me back on the shop floor, to be honest with you. So they were great. I had, I think it's funny because I had a manager receptionist at the time who kept saying before, oh, you never spend time with me, you need to be off the shop floor, you're always busy with the clients, I need to speak to you about this, speak to you about that, and I can't. So I kind of thought, great, this is going to work, being off the shop floor. However, it kind of meant then I worked from my office at home. Although we had an office here, this office in my salon is used by when they're doing ordering and everything else and training and all of those sort of things. So I made the decision to mainly work from home. And I think that kind of did cause a few problems. And I think that although everybody else was fine, I think I was constantly being contacted by my manager and being told to come back in, and I think probably thought I might be off the shop floor, but I would still be in my business all the time. So I think it was a bit of a clash of values, really. So yeah, not everybody was on board, but all of my stylists were. They were fine. There was the odd word of kind of, oh, what do I do with her colour? But I think once I sort of supported them and said, well, like, this is what I do, and then actually they would come back and say to me, well, I've got a better idea, because they're younger, they're fresher. And I was like, great, go for it, and they probably created better things than what I could. So yeah, they're fine. Excellent. But yeah, that's just one member, really.
And interesting what you said, it's, people's values can change. And of course, dynamics can change, because it's a big change. You're coming off the floor, you're not there anymore. Maybe there's someone there that feels that they need you there for more support, so they might have to adjust a little bit more of you not being there, etc. But it isn't an adjustment period, but it has to be that everybody's aligned. What you said was everybody's aligned with the value and the bigger picture. And if that's the value, if that's the mission and the vision that you have decided on, I'm getting off the salon floor so I can support everybody better, grow the business more, grow everybody in the business. Everybody has to understand that and be aligned with that. I think that's really, really important. And, part of that journey sometimes might be, it may or may not be that, you lose people along the way on that journey, but you do anyway. If you're employment salon, you often do anyway, regardless. You never know what's coming around the corner the next day. So it's, if you're aligned with your values and your mission, where you're going, that's key. And it's, like you say, you just sort of stayed true to that vision and that mission. We have another question from Kerry. So how many hours do you work now? On the business, more on the business, how many hours? Is there a difference in the hours that you're working, or is it reduced hours, or is it more you choose your hours, or are you working even more hours because you're trying to get everything systemized? What's the kind of, where are you at now with the hours on the business rather than in it?
I think I probably work the same amount of hours, because I used to be on the shop floor, then I would come home and I would then be doing paperwork. I didn't have a bookkeeper then either, whereas I've got bookkeepers, I've got everything now, which is great. But I would be doing all of that. And then I would be trying to plan when I could book in meetings. So I would be working on the shop floor and working in the evening and working Saturday and Sunday. I try not to work Sundays now. So I do try and keep my Sunday as a complete day of not looking at anything. However, I would say pretty much every day I'm working on the business, because if it's not related to hairdressing, it's related to mindset, it's related to just getting more information, not necessarily hairdressing related, but how we can support the team and how we can build a stronger ethos. And so, but then that's good because it's working on me. So it's kind of making me stronger, but it ineffectively is working on the business. So yeah, it's a hard one to say, isn't it? Because I think, but I do. And what the good thing is, I can say, actually, I can meet somebody tomorrow, because I'm not governed by clients. I'm not governed by meetings. When people say, oh, can you book in a meeting? It's like, oh yeah, I can actually, because I can just juggle that around. Whereas when you've got clients, you can't do that. So yeah, I do get more free time, definitely. But I spend that free time in working on myself a bit more to get further along in myself.
It's more it's not like, I mean, if you think if you just came off the floor and you didn't direct the salon and you weren't growing the salon in some way, well, someone has to. So if you're coming off the floor completely, you either have to have someone in place that is trained up to the level that knows and understands every single system in the salon before you leave, so when you leave, they've got it and they're doing the job that you would do, or you have to still direct your salon when you come off it. But then that's the thing, that's part of the joy. When I came off the floor and I started running and growing the salon, I started to see it grow. You get so into it. And when you start doing the marketing, you see the results, you get so into it. And, like you say, being able to, implement new systems and try new things, it became, as long as you're loving what you're doing, but like you say, you have more choice. If you were to decide, you know what, I can't do that tomorrow. Do you know what? I just need to take that half day off tomorrow to do whatever. Or no, I need a day off. Like, you have the choice then, because like you say, you're not tied to the column, to like appointments with the clients kind of thing. So yeah, that's interesting. Also, I just wanted to touch as well on what we teach a lot within Salon Academy, that many of you that are inside will know this, is having your purpose, and having that bigger purpose, that mission, something that sets you apart from, others around, kind of thing. And I know that you have that within your sustainability ethos. And I know there's a lot more sustainable salons now. There's definitely a lot more people that are shifting to that. But this is something that you've really cornered in your area, to an extent that you're even getting asked to do articles or press or podcasts, whatever it is, for industry bodies, I'll say. So when did you start getting into the whole sustainable side? And how does that, do your clients love that? Is that why they come, or is that like an extra added bonus that you're the vegan salon, or do you get ones that they're coming because of that?
Yeah, no, we definitely get people coming because of it. So we have people traveling sort of 2 hours, things like that, and people contacting us from further away that do want to come to us. One, because it's vegan and it's very low chemicals, and our whole sustainability sort of ethos. So yeah, we get a lot of new clients from that. And so we've always sort of been into the sustainability of the recycling and all of those things, but probably about 2016 or 2015, I can't remember now, we went solely to our one product supplier. So we literally just, they've got like zero waste, they're non-toxic, all of that. And so we made a sort of stand then and made our retail products then. And we had a little bit then of some of our clients kind of, oh, it's a little bit more expensive. And, we had to put our prices up a little bit more then, but we explained to them why. So we had a little bit of resistance. I can't say we lost a lot of clients. We probably lost 10%, not many, but we gained way more than 10% in new clients. And now our clients love it. And in fact, during the lockdown, a lot of them were like, I'm not colouring my hair because I can't get that product anywhere. They can't get it in the, or some would say, I bought an organic product over the counter, but it wasn't like yours. So that's a really good thing, does help. And I think for me, it's not just about sustainability in what we're using. And every single decision we make in the business comes from that vision. So literally to who supplies my electricity, my gas, how everything is handled in the salon, that it's recycled in a certain way. So there's all these things that we have to take into consideration before we make a decision. But I think that comes down to the mindset as well, because it's all about the sustainability of making sure we have these there's sort of four things, which is the team, the guest, the business, and we have the planet added onto that. So they're the four things that we have to think about when we're making a decision. And I think that comes down to even when your team are working for you, in making sure that they're kept healthy, making sure we're not getting them overstressed, making sure we're supporting them in the best way we can. I know sometimes HR can be really cutthroat, and you kind of, they tell you how to do things, and you think, well, actually, let's really look at this person as an individual. I know doing your archetypes training was amazing for me, because that made me look at my team in a totally different way and become a little bit more considerate. And it's sustainable then. You can make it last longer, because that's what it's all about, trying to not have a high turnover team, because you're supporting them, but sticking to your values. So yeah, it's in all areas of my business.
Yeah, and having that strong culture, it gels everyone together, because if everybody believes in it and everybody gets it, then they're finding things and going, oh, I found this. Have you heard about this thing that's to do with our sustainability, etc.? And it just pulls everyone together. And like you say, when a decision is made, you know where to base your decisions on. It makes it so
Mm,
much easier. It brings the emotion out of it a lot of the time as well. You know,
mm,
we can't do that because that goes against our ethos or whatever it is. There's no emotion there. It just goes against
yeah.
your values and your ethos and who you are. And it's as simple as that. It's much easier process when you've got a really strong culture in place. Absolutely.
Mm,
I've loved chatting to you today, Lisa. I think you have achieved everything and more what we love to see our Salon Jedis achieve. Absolutely. The mindset stuff that you talked about, the archetypes, you know, I do agree that it's phenomenal. And it's actually a lot of fun for the team as
mm,
well when they start going, oh, you're that character. Oh, you're that character. But you know, we're not going to go into it just now, but it goes right down into the core of what's driving
mm.
behavior, what's driving the behaviors of the little things that you might, you know, you're judging someone because they're acting a certain way, but once you understand and realize where that behavior comes from, it just makes the understanding and sort of empathy around the salon to each other
Mm,
really
mm.
improve as well. And it's a little bit of fun as well along the way when you're all
Yeah.
go, that's you, you're that.
Good team training. It was good. We did it in lockdown and they loved it. And yeah,
Yeah.
they do. You hear them in the salon kind of sometimes saying that's come from whatever archetype it is. And I think they're a bit more considerate with each other as well, which is really good. So yeah,
So
brilliant.
Tarnia is saying this has been inspiring. Thank you so much. Well, thank you so much, Lisa. And I do hope that this inspires lots and lots and lots of salon owners and our Jedis that it can be done. It's just doing certain things in a certain way. I'm no one special. I have just shared the way I've done it, and I've just shared my systems and my model with other people. And when you implement, like Lisa has done, I mean, that is key. You know, I take my hat off to you. The implementation, the amount of implementing, you've implemented everything. You've, you know, immersed yourself into every part of the training that we do, and that's key. You know,
Mm,
that is absolute key. Action, inspired action is huge. Yes, I can give you the tools, give you how I've done it, but you ultimately have to do it, and you did. So a huge well done,
thank
Lisa.
you.
Well done. Thank you so much for everyone who joined. Carol Ann saying thank you as well. And Kerry, so interesting, saying so interesting as well. Thank you so much, guys. And of course, remember, those of you that are inside Salon Jedi Academy, Lisa is around. If you ever have any questions for her inside the Academy, feel free to, you know, pop in a question and give her a tag. And I'm sure she'll help answer any of the questions that you have around anything that we've chatted about today. All right, Lisa, thank you.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Take care. Bye-bye.